remained unchanged for thousands of years, and it forms the underlying foundation for all law and governments in the world. The law of nations and everything that human civilization is built on. Understanding law at this level by these processes, nothing that is of an inferior state or statute can overturn it or change it or abrogate it or meddle with it. It remains fundamental. It remains the fundamental source of authority and power and functional reality. There are 10 essential maxims of truth or precepts in commercial law. And the first of these is expressed in the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, chapter 31, verse 3. Cast not an evil eye on the goods of thy neighbor. Let whatever is his property be sacred from thy touch. Or the Old Testament of the people of the book, Exodus 20:15, thou shalt not steal, which is in terms of commercial law, a workman is worthy of his hire. Second, the second maxim of commercial law is equity before the law. Or more precisely, all are equal under the law, which can be seen expressed in the Holy Moorish Quran, chapter 30, verse 5. Defame him not in his character. Bear no false witness against him. Also in Act 3 of the bylaws of the Moorish Science Temple of America, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. No member is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion, because Allah is love. What this means is commercial law being founded on the unchanging principle of the law and natural law is binding on everyone, which naturally creates the moral law enforced by the nation / family, because it is binding on everyone's family and no one can escape it. The third maxim of law is in commerce, the truth is sovereign. Truth is sovereign. The law of the force. We can see this maxim and other maxims expressed in the Moorish American prayer or MAP, which states, Allah, the Father of the universe. And that's breaking down that Allah is the highest sovereign authority, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, which is the source code of the law for the government of the world, law of the family. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day. Saying we are all equal under the law through his workmen, Holy Prophet Noble Ali. Amen. The divine and national principles of the nation state by the founder. Moorish American prayer is also an affidavit. And the sovereign tells the truth. Your word is your bond, aka a covenant. When one is lost outside of his vine and fig tree, truth is not sovereign in commerce. Commerce means essentially every human action and interrelationship. And when the will of Allah is not sovereign, there would be no basis for anything. No basis for law and order, no basis for accountability. There would be no standards, no capability to resolve anything, because it means anything goes. Each man for himself, and nothing matters. Debased down to survival of the fittest. Money becomes one's God. So in commerce, Truth is sovereign. That's definitely a good one right there, because just breaking down, when you don't have these laws in order and you're operating as a colored or a Negro, you're lawless. You're a stateless person. You're not under a binding fig tree. You have no laws and doctrines to truly abide by. Continue. It says the fourth maxim of commercial law is truth. Truth is expressed in the form of an affidavit. In commerce, an affidavit must coexist and underlay and form the foundation and responsibility for any commercial transaction whatsoever. There can be no valid commercial transaction without someone taking risk and putting his commercial honor on the line and stated that this is true and correct in certain situations. When one issues an affidavit, you have engaged a two-edged sword. It cuts both ways. This affidavit may be a claim or bill that you send to someone in due form. And it must say that they owe you something, they owe you some money or something. Someone has got to take responsibility for saying, in fact, that this is a real situation. And this is why it's a real situation.
Did you catch that, Moso?
That last part?
What you said about how it's a real situation. Did anybody catch that science that's in that maxim?
You're referring to like people following fake stuff and it don't be, what it's supposed to be. That'd be a real thing.
That's how you know it's shiggity. When it be like, man, please read it again. Go read it again, Moso, a little bit. The part that we should be highlighting.
It says when someone issues an affidavit, you have engaged a two-edged sword. It cuts both ways.
So when the affidavit you have did what?
Engaged in a contract, two-edged sword.
So meaning what?
If you lying, it's gonna come back and get you.
The same harm that you think you're doing this stuff, and I put it like this, Jerry Shaw, and you exactly right. The same harm you think you imposed it on somebody can be imposed right on you. You feel me?
Islam.
Yeah. Islam.
Okay. Now read the next part, Moso.
It says this affidavit may be a claim or a bill that you send someone in due form.
An affidavit can be a claim or a bill.
Or a bill. Mm-hmm.
An affidavit can be a claim or a bill.
Right.
Do we know what that? So an affidavit can be two of these things.
It's just like you say when people buying books online from us, and they think the book is hard copy when it's a PDF website, and they play that game. You send them something, and then they want to act like they didn't get it, but that's not being honorable.
And that's what I'm talking about. Receipts. When a person is making a claim, it's like, listen, it's very, very specific. That's why in a court of law, there's no excuse of not knowing the law. That's why when they say, did you read the bold print? Did you read the disclaimer? It's on the individual to read. It's on the individual. When you go into any contract, the first thing I tell y'all is read the contract. Read the contract so you can understand what you're doing or what maybe you might not want to do once you learn the language and the stipulations of you going into that contract as a willing obligor. And then when you go into a contract as a willing obligor, sometimes after the fact, you can't get out of it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Proceed.
And it says, this affidavit may be a claim or bill that you send someone in due form, and it must say that they owe you some money or something. Someone has to take responsibility for saying that, or saying, in fact, that this is a real situation, and that this is why it is a real situation.
Did you see did you see? So what you think the specific was in there? It was some in there. It had to be somebody in that party to say what?
Take responsibility for saying this is a real situation.
That's the whole thing. So look how it can fall on you. Remember, you got the right to remain. I'm on the reverse side of it. You can tell on yourself because somebody have to claim or say that actually happened, right?
Yeah.
Think about what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Think about what I'm saying. Proceed.
It says in commerce, if someone sends you a bill or assessment or something of this kind, they have tabulated the goods or services that they have provided for you with the amount of each in a booking ledger. They total it at the bottom, and this is the total amount you owe. This is called a true bill in commerce, unless there is a commercial affidavit that is proper commercial paperwork with somebody taking responsibility. There is no valid commercial transaction. That's kind of like an invoice too, right? No?
Yeah.
When you issue an affidavit in commerce, you get the power of the affidavit. You also incur the liability because there has been a real situation. Other people might be adversely affected by it. They may be depending on it and go out and start factories and borrowing money. They may think that they have a true bill and have to send money. Someone now is gaining as a result of the affidavit. Affidavits change things in ways which would could affect other people. This means whoever issues an affidavit in commerce has a liability for its veracity. And if what you say in your affidavit is in fact not true, then those who are adversely affected can come back to you with a claim for recourse that is justifiable because you lied. You have told a falsehood as though it were the truth. People have depended on it, and then they have lost because of your lie. The fifth maxim of commercial law: an unrefuted affidavit stands as the truth in commerce, meaning claims are made if they go unchallenged. They emerge as the truth in the matter. A thought to consider: there is a presumption in commerce that Asiatic people are Negroes, Black persons, a second-class citizen, which is like saying a stateless person or refugee. And if this is affirmed by the Asiatic through his or her words, deeds, actions, and ignorance of the law of family, this is no excuse. And if unrebutted, the affidavit, which is also the birth certificate, that states such a shameful and notorious deficit, then he/she are subjected to that status. The prophet makes a plea of nations. The prophet makes a plea to the nations on Friday, November 1928. An affidavit of proclaiming of nationality issued by a duly qualified and verified, appointed and anointed and consecrated sheikh of the Moorish Science Temple of America can rebuke such a presumption in law. By you proclaiming your nationality and religion and allegiance to the divine and national principles in a public meeting among the political community, and the declaration is made. Such a declaration is the first David to be used with others to repudiate such prima facie evidence. I know this one just has me thinking, Sheik, you always say, being a part of the Burning Bush Tabernacle. These are what protects you, but you can't just run to these documents when you're in trouble. You have to be living, you have to be under the brotherhood and sisterhood to be protected.
And it's an understanding. It's almost like, how can I say it? When you're under a certain protection, and it can be displayed in the right way because the rest of the world knows. You know what I mean? And you are there, yes. So it does make a huge difference. It makes a big difference, being a part of a brotherhood understanding. Yes, it does. I give honors to that.
And I think like you always talk about with like Malcolm X and all these other scholars, they learned this when they went to the United Nations and they saw there's no black embassy, there's no Negro embassy, there's no international, protections for the American more.
Yeah.
You gotta have your nationality and your spirituality to even sit at the table.
Yep. And it's so funny you say that, Noble, because I was looking at what was it? With this guy, what do he call himself on social media? I think he called himself Frank. The guy that's in Flint. I know from Flint. And it was a quote on there, man, about religion versus spirituality, Noble.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just it just reminded me a lot of what we speak on and how we try to keep ourselves on a clear understanding of not only what we're doing, but other people too. So we know how to adapt, and we know how to be leaders, and we know how to be illuminators. And I was just going over verses like religion versus spirituality. It's like religion worships God. Spirituality encourages oneness with God. Religion, God is outside of you. Spirituality, God is within you. Religion separates people who have different beliefs. Spirituality unites people regardless of their beliefs. Religion teaches people to be afraid of hell. Spirituality teaches people to create heaven on earth. Because the Bible says we want the same thing on earth as it is in heaven. Right?
It's fine.
Okay? Religion.
Absolutely.
Islam. Religion. Based on fear and restriction. Spirituality. Based on love and freedom. Religion feels like being a single drop in the ocean. Spirituality feels like being the entire ocean in a single drop. Religion is based on others' experience. Spirituality is based on your personal experience. I mean, that's some good stuff,
Yeah.
I just posted it in the text string so everybody can have it.
Say what, Noble?
I just posted it in the text string so everybody can have it.
Oh man, Barclay.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And it's certain little things. Like I said, I take everything for inspiration. Like I said, I'm an inspirational guy. I love certain things. My ear be into certain things. And like we say, it's nothing we can create. We can recreate things and make it simple. But creation is already created. That's why I said divine inspiration come from God, come from you, come from everybody's spirit, us connected. That's why this is a beautiful thing. But Islam too, I just wanted to say that, man. Nothing much.
Indeed, Islam, see. You gotta know the difference between religion and spirituality. That's important.
We should. That's why I've been telling people.
Religion is divine.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Noble.
Added so many. I was just saying, religions, like you said, they're these denominations. I mean, like you always say, what's the point of having a church on two sides of the street? Those two churches, congregations could come together and study together and be much stronger, as opposed to having all these splinter groups and being weak individually. People could come together, and we see that. I see that in my city with a lot of Tahito or Ethiopian, a lot of different cultures. They come together and they owning things. owning the block. They owning businesses. They have churches. They have, investment through their religious group, to their spirit group. And that's something that our people gotta have to get down with before, if they want to see any progress in their lifetimes.
I agree, though. I agree.
And you, to continue, it says
I don't know what's
6.
going on, man.
I don't know why it keeps doing that to us.
Fix that. But what we'll do, we'll wrap it up. I have to have Empress fix that, man. We've been going for about an hour, so we'll wrap it up and continue. We'll continue on. We have a little technical difficulty. We'll get that situated.
Gratitude, Nobles.
Gratitude for everybody taking time out y'all day, man. Amazing teaching. Definitely got to continue to build. We're going to get the technical difficulty handled real fast.
There's none. I'll say the prayer there. Allah, the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our guide, and our salvation by night and by day through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, the Lord King, Ayar Asher Ayar. Peace, 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 and love, Nobles.
Peace and
love, y'all. Peace and love, family.
Peace and love.
Peace.
Peace.
mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z.